All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this webinar. Let me do the presentations first. So basically, this webinar is around how to buy your first CRM if you're looking at getting a CRM for your business. Sorry for the title. We kind of made a small mistake with our title. So I'd like to introduce, I'm going to be, we're going to work in a pair. So basically, there's going to be Eric Fugère, who's a sales director at Sherweb. Eric, you
Good
can
morning,
introduce
Joel.
yourself. Good
Good morning,
morning.
Joel.
Morning, Eric. And then there's going to be me that's going to do a demo at the end of this presentation. So my name is Joël Seguin. I am a technical solution manager for Sherweb and a SME, so subject matter expert. So I'll be handling the demo at the end. So Eric, off to you. You can start whenever you're ready.
Great. Thank you very much, Joel, for the introductions. Very quickly, to introduce myself, I've been with Sherweb almost a year and a half now. I come with about 25 years of experience in IT sales. And of course, my background is helping our colleagues and clients to make sure that we're keeping everything moving forward. I rarely whip the sales department, but it happens towards end of month. And as you can see, I have a few pastimes that I enjoy traveling and, of course, spending time with family and friends. We're very lucky to have Joel as well as our subject matter expert for Dynamics 365. He has over 10 years of managing IT accounts and corporate sales. Joel also ran his own photography studio for 10 years, so he understands how businesses works firsthand and how to best make use of a CRM. He deployed a custom CRM and he managed his leads. And when he's not working, Joel loves to cook and he's a keen mountain biker, as well as a runner and a road cyclist.
Thanks.
Uh, if you want to indulge me a little bit, allow me to tell you all a little bit about Sherweb. Sherweb has been in business for over 20 years. Founded by two brothers in the late 90s. We have over 6,000 different partners and over 30,000 clients, net clients from that perspective. Over 700 plus employees, growing every week. We get new hires almost every week joining us, so it's an exciting time to be here. And as I mentioned earlier, 30,000 direct clients and over 60,000 full-fledged clients at Sherweb. I want to talk a little bit about today's agenda. As Joel mentioned at the beginning of it all, we want to, of course, help you modernize your sales productivity through the Dynamics CRM solution. We'll do a little demo and, of course, some Q&A. Obviously, if you have questions along the way, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat. All people have been muted, so if you try to speak, you may have a harder time from that perspective. So if anything comes up, please don't hesitate and let us know. We'll be happy to field them as we go along. However, we will have a formal Q&A at the end of it all. Wanted to talk a little bit about the reality in which our sales teams live in nowadays. We live in an age of distraction. So when we look at some of these statistics, 59% of sellers say they don't have the right tools to be able to manage all of the different aspects of a sale. So the confusion lies in a sense where there's too many tools. There's about 50% of workers who don't know exactly what's expected of them, and then of course the non-selling activities, the things that take away from the day-to-day, getting on the phone and generating opportunity and speaking to clients and helping them along their process. The only 64% of that time is taken away out of their daily basis, managing some of those distractions. And I don't want to call them that, but unfortunately, that's what they often are. According to Accenture's analysis and this structure, the distractions reduces a seller's performance by at least 14%. It's a significant cost to an organization. If you could get 14% out of each of your other salespeople, it should be a lucrative turnaround for you from that perspective. What I wanted to touch on next is complexity. Sales is always a lot more complex than it is all perceived to be. Often external people that are involved in the sales process, you've got about 10 different members that are involved in the purchasing decision. These are Gartner statistics as well, just so you can know. And a buying decision, of course, it takes about 97% longer than expected. So twice as long as what we have the usual expectations of the external factors that slow every purchase decision, and it becomes even longer. So it's no wonder that buying decisions that take almost twice the time that you would need, yet 60% of the companies have a well-defined sales process. So a lot of companies move into this process and don't have the proper structure to be able to move forward with sales. And of course, 70% of workers are likely to spend more time on collaboration platforms. So if you can find a way to be it more collaborative, it takes a lot of the complexity out of the process. A simple way to modernize sales, obviously, is through the acquisition of Office 365 and Dynamics 365. Both solutions tie in beautifully. It is a solution that has an easy setup. I mean, getting yourself moving and modernizing productivity will definitely help give you the solutions that you do a lot less with more. So Dynamics 365 for sales professionals works seamlessly with Office 365, so sellers can easily and intuitively manage customer relationships and close deals using the tools they already have. The two-way to achieve sales productivity in the modern environment is not to give sellers more disconnected tools. As we saw earlier, sellers already feel they have too many disjointed tools and they need solutions that will help them work in a more comfortable way, and some things that'll give them more familiarity and repetitive solutions. This way, sellers can gain new capabilities without the burden of distractions that come with adding new add-ons or disconnected tools. And time wasted in training and ramping up and reconciling data systems or entering duplicate data in multiple systems. Well, we're trying to make it a seamless, flexible solution that is all on one platform, and you don't have to move around from tool to tool to get the results that you're looking for. We also want to figure out a way to modernize sales productivity. The tool itself, it does a lot less, not more for you, so it helps you focus on what's important and to help you streamline the seller workflows. And you start with what you need. So Microsoft Dynamics 365 helps organizations modernize the productivity in the face of these challenges. With Dynamics 365, sellers can do a lot less, not more. And by saying what's less, well, they focus on what's most important. They remove all of the unnecessary noise in the background. And as a result, a seller can overcome the distractions and complexity to regain focus and sales momentum that they need to bring those sales to close. It's important to focus on what's in, we have to focus on what's most important, and I think that is key to us in this structure to make sure that we keep our flow moving forward. Let's take a look at how Dynamics helps sellers focus on what's most important. Um, so one, to tailor interactions with customers to make sure that they have multiple or less, I should say, number of stakeholders. It gets very difficult, as I mentioned earlier, that there's 10 different people involved in a sales purchase. It's harder to tailor and personalize the interactions. So working seamlessly with Outlooks and Dynamic and sales professionals provides a holistic 360-degree view of the customers' interactions across the companies and sales activities. Without switching apps, sellers have all the context, all the knowledge on the status they need to personalize every interactions with buyers, decision makers, champions, whoever is in the account, helping them throughout the sales process. Dynamics 365 app for Outlook surfaces customers' engagement records, sales insights, and alerts with an Outlook on the desktop, web, or phone. It really allows a lot of the interactions with salespeople to be very focused, and as mentioned earlier, we remove distraction from that perspective. You want to get guidance for optimal outcomes, obviously. You want to make sure that you prevent these distractions, as I mentioned. You need to narrow down the optimal choices for sellers. With Dynamics 365, sellers get a guidance towards optimal outcomes while working in Dynamics 365s for sales professionals. Outlook, or as shown with Microsoft Teams. Directly within their sales records, they are working on sellers to see the specific steps they needed to make the deal move forward and close the deal faster. Dynamics 365 for Microsoft Teams enables a business group to easily work with Dynamics 365 information and share files directly from Teams. This helps them to be more productive and get the business done effectively. To get actionable insights and to increase performance, this is a nice third step to what benefits you come from Dynamics. Many sellers are unclear of what's expected of them. It's just to close deals. Is it to build pipeline? Is it to acquire new customers or retain existing customers? Frequently, goals conflict with with distractions for sellers. Dynamics 365 provides contextual realities, dashboards for sellers and leaders so the entire sales team knows what metrics to focus on and take coordinated action towards the organization's specific goals. The Dynamics 365 apps for Teams allows sales teams to access interactive dashboards from Microsoft Teams without needing to switch between apps. This helps them be more productive and get more business done effectively with more focus. Streamline your sellers' workflows. The best way to do that, obviously, is to look at a collaboration in the modern workspace. Let's take a look at how Dynamics streamlines sellers' workflows. Sellers and sales managers can collaborate on deals across functional geographies with customer information and document sharing from Microsoft Teams, the hub for collaboration. The Dynamics 365 app for Teams embeds Dynamics 365 customers records, sales contents, reports, and updates, all within a modern hub for chat, meetings, notes, and documents. For example, Teams can share a sales presentation, then easily schedule a review meeting or chat with a few clicks without switching applications. You can also bring in additional departments to help them be involved in the decision-making process and the communication towards the client. The Dynamics 365 app for Teams allows users to store and access sales documents in one place right within Microsoft Teams. So sellers can collaborate and personalize sales documents with embedded Office 365 tools that fit the way sellers work all in one place to avoid having multiple versions of documents floating around there. It's concise and controlled. You want to collaborate on deals. Today's modern workspace allows for sellers to work on the go. So the modern sales tools need to support this contemporary mode of work. Dynamics 365 enables sellers to work anytime, anywhere with the mobile application, I should say, across the web, smartphone, and tablet. Sellers stay productive with the mobile-oriented capabilities like voice-enabled command, contextual news, task flows that make it quick and easy to conduct sales activities even on the road, which is, of course, the reality in today's sales uh, marketplace. Start with what you need. Obviously, the dynamic solution has a great feature where you can start simple, just with the capabilities your sales teams need now, and support additional business needs as the business grows. A pre-packaged application with a role-based setup is an easy configuration lets you get up and running quickly without the need to spend extra time and money setting up and deploying capabilities you don't need right now. You can also configure the sales applications for your specific sales processes without technical resource. With Dynamics 365, you can count on a platform that meets your needs today and scales and adapts to your needs in the future. When your organization is ready, you can add more advanced capability in sales and beyond, from predictive lead scoring to LinkedIn and marketing to customer services. Helping you configure the app for your specific sales processes. As you see, it's an easy drop down and click and carry over of support. You can count on a platform that continuously grows with your business. As I mentioned, here's a quick example of a dashboard that you see that allows you to track the sales process. You see the wonderful bar at the top gives you a process and a program as it evolves along the sales process. Now, a quote from a somewhat important man, Satya Nadella, from the CEO of Microsoft. Um, so let me, for verbatim, read it to you guys. That complete notion of business transformation is something that only Microsoft can do. That is why I care so much about the mainstreaming of Dynamics. It's not about Dynamics on its own. It's Dynamics at the center of a company. Of course, the message here is Microsoft is really trying to make sure that they give you the ability not only to manage your business easily and more effectively, but also give you the chance to use it on one single platform or the best method to organize your day. I also now I'd like to hand it over to our friend Joel, who will be taking over a bit of the demo portion of this presentation. Obviously, he'll give you a little bit more visibility and view into what you should expect from a Dynamics 365 demo, and I'll hand it over to him now.
All right.
Joel?
Thanks,
Great.
Eric. All right. So I hope everybody enjoyed Eric's presentation. Basically, what Eric went through is kind of the overview, more along the lines of a full presentation of the product. So what I'll do within this demo is, I would say a 10,000 foot view of the product, because we can go pretty deep with a CRM and we can customize it for each and everyone's businesses. But right out of the box, the way that it's built, you're able to set it up within, I would say, probably a couple of hours and start working with it. So that means starting to enter data within the system and start using it. As you work with the tool and as you grow with the tool, you can then start to build it up exactly as you would like. So let's start it off with one nice view that's pretty unique in the CRM world. It's the sales settings. So basically, when you set it up the first time, there's a bit of configuration that goes right before we get to this screen, and I'm not gonna go through that process now. But basically, once the product is set it up and you're ready to get in there, you can start configuring it right within this wizard, which is really great. You don't see that often. Normally, it's mostly, I would say, a manual process. But with Dynamics 365 for Sales Pro, they basically tell you how to connect your SharePoint, which is document management. So you can have all your files related to one customer under one roof. Then it helps you to import your data. So let's say you have pretty much all of your customers' info in an Excel sheet somewhere. Well, it tells you how to import that data and it gets it structured within Dynamics 365. Uh, then it lets you and it teaches you how to manage your users. So within a company, let's say you have 5 people that are using this product. This is where you assign their security roles, so you can so they can start selling. So basically, this is where you define which part of the software they're going to get access to. And then you can set up your email here at the bottom. Basically, when you have Office 365, as Eric said, the product has a kind of a better together approach. So when you set up your email through the Dynamics solution, all emails that are getting exchanged are getting tracked within your Dynamics 365. And we're going to take a look into this, but I just want to show you, for example, let's say we wanted to connect our SharePoint. In my case, it's already done, so you don't see the beginning of the process, but it basically asks you to go one URL where you have your SharePoint address and just copy that address within this wizard and let it do the rest. And it's basically the same thing for every aspect of the software. Once you finish through doing all of that, well, you're pretty much up and running and ready to start selling. So before we jump in Dynamics on its own, and I'm asking myself, okay, so let me show this first. When I said that you connected to your email, so we have Eric here that sent me an email through my Outlook. So once your Dynamics 365 is connected to your Outlook, what you see here is Eric's email. And what you're going to see when I hit this, let me just move something out of the screen. When you hit these little buttons and you go down the menu, you see a Dynamics 365 menu right there. And if I click on this, What it basically does is in the backend, it connects to my Dynamics 365 instance, and it provides me with all the same features as I would have right within the software. What's nice is it recognizes the fact that Eric and me, I've never spoken before, and this contact doesn't exist within Dynamics 365. So I can go on and create the contact first to avoid duplicates, and then start working with my Dynamics 365 instance uh, right within Outlook as if I was working within Dynamics 365. So I could add this contact, add Eric as a contact, add him as a lead. When Eric's a lead, then I can work on that lead until we move to an opportunity. So once we qualify Eric as a potential customer, when that lead gets transferred to an opportunity, what it's going to do, it's going to create automatically Eric as a contact, and it's going to create the opportunity in the back end. So we won't go that deep. Let's just create him as a contact. So basically, once that's done, it automatically grabs Eric's name, first name and last name. Then I could start adding stuff right here saying he's sales director. And then I could go down and start adding more information. So his phone number, his business phone description, and his address. And once that's done, I could just hit save and close. Now Eric exists within my Dynamics 365 solution. So he's now recognized as a contact with whom I could start working on his project. So, and it's also tracking all the emails that I'm going to be exchanging with Eric from now on. So right now, from where I am, I could start actually creating a lead out of this opportunity, out of this email, and start filling in the blanks, and which I won't do from within Outlook. I just want you to take a quick look at what you're seeing. So you're seeing the topic. So basically, I could exchange email, and it can tell me, well, I want to buy CRM. This is basically what we saw in his uh, in his email where he says, I want a CRM. So basically I could write down, Eric wants a CRM, wants to buy a CRM solution. So I won't fill in the rest, but just remember all the info that we're seeing here. It's exactly the same information. Oh, I need to fill out his last name. Let me just go back here, first name and last name. Rick. And then I can save and close. Right. So I won't go deeper. Just keep in mind, once it's connected in the back end, and also it connects to a lot of stuff. So you can work with the Excel files, you can work with Word files. So there's a lot of stuff that connects right into your Dynamics 365. In this case, once it's connected and you have your Outlook connected, then you can work within Outlook, basically never going into your Dynamics 365. So let's go with our Dynamics 365, which is not the right screen. Sorry about that. Let's go here. So if I would look into my leads, we now see Eric is right there and he wants to buy a CRM solution. So from here on, I could basically start working with Eric, start sending him email and just seeing with him if he can provide me with more information. But before we go into the exchanges that I'm going to have with Eric, let me just show you around the interface. So basically, the way that Dynamics 365 works, you start off with a lead or a contact and create a lead out of that contact. And then once you've qualified them, they become an opportunity. Then you work throughout that opportunity. And as you move along, you can then send your proposal. That proposal gets accepted. And once that's accepted, then it's sent off as an order, and it can be sent off to your accounting system once the order has been placed. So either QuickBooks or within the Dynamics family, there's Business Central and other financial solutions. So let's say we're working with Eric, and now all the information that we have right now is Eric's name. We can start filling off the information that we have here. And one thing that we could also do by looking at his last name, we could ask the system to find out if there's any duplicates. So if he already exists within the system. So that's one thing. And well, as you know, basically every sales team There's a lot of ways that everybody likes to work, but as a company, you might want everybody to work a certain way. So do steps that you define in your business processes as the steps needed to be done to qualify a prospect, and so on as you move through your business process and your sales process. So the way that Dynamics is built right out of the box, you do have information that you can find here. So let me just search if Eric exists, and seems he does exist. So then it recreated Eric with the contact that I had. And then is it an existing account? So in this case, we don't have an account. Purchase time frame, estimated budget, and so on. So all of these questions that you're wanting your sales staff to ask are either you either put them there as something that they need to do or as a nice to have. So you define if they have to do that step exactly. And everything that you see here is basically defined um, by you. So you personalize the questions that you want everybody to ask. If these out of the box questions don't fit your business process, then you can change them. So there's a way to customize these questions. So once you've qualified, Eric, let's say his purchase time frame is this quarter, estimated budget is $10,000. Purchase process is within a committee. We can identify the stakeholders. So basically, let's say he's alone. Let's keep it simple. Individual. So Eric is the only stakeholder. And that's pretty much it. Then I could go on and say, let's move to the next stage. Well, first off, I need to qualify Eric. So once Eric has been qualified and he gets moved, we don't see him as a lead anymore. He's now an opportunity for our business. So this is where we can start to add more information. So we could ask him what's his current situation, what are his exact needs, and track all of these. We could also go within Eric's contact and ask him, does he have a family? When's his birthday? And all of this data that you're gathering all ends up in one single place, which lets you down the line create marketing lists so you can send Eric maybe an email when it's his birthday, when you have a new product that you might find interesting, if he's within a certain list where he fits criteria that you predefine, then you can reach out to Eric when future opportunity that you see fit for him makes sense for you to send him an email. One nice feature that you get is this timeline. So you see, I qualified Eric today. I might want to schedule a time with Eric, maybe to give him a phone call. So I could create a phone call and set that phone call, verify new opportunity, for example. And I could set that phone call as an outgoing call, enter his phone number, enter a description. When is it due? Let's say it's for tomorrow at 8 a.m. and so on and so on. And once I click save and close, it's going to show up within my timeline. And what's nice is that when I look at my activities, when I come in first thing in the morning, I could see the activities. There's another dashboard. Sorry about this. Let me just go back to this dashboard. Now, that's not what I was looking for. Sorry about that. Give me a sec. Open activities. So you see, it shows up as a phone call that I need to do for tomorrow. And then it's quite easy when I get in the morning, see what are my open opportunities. So what am I working on right now? Do I have leads that I need to work on also to move them to opportunities? What activities should I be doing today? So if I take the time to list every single activities that I need to do, emails, phone calls, and so on and so on, it's all going to show up here. So as a salesperson, when I come in the morning, basically I get all of my day planned out right within my CRM. So I know exactly what I need to do. Since, as I showed you, your business and sales processes have been defined, I know exactly how these activities should be done. And I keep track of all these things. So everyone within the company can find out where are we going? Are we meeting our number of calls that we want to do? Are we keeping tabs on open opportunities as often as we'd like? And basically, you can then kind of get an overview of how your sales team's performing. And then you can have your sales manager view, which basically shows you your pipeline with the amount of open opportunities that you have. So basically, these are in phases. So are we in development phase? Are we in propose phase? So are we almost getting ready to close these? So once they're in propose phase, we're pretty much ready to close them. You can see who are your sales leaderboard. So who has the best number of sales for this month, for example, or for the year. Activities by owners and priority. So within this case, I'm the only one. So basically, I have a lot of stuff on my plate. So you can see your number of deal won versus deal lost by owner. So this can give you some info on is this salesperson performing exactly as I want him to perform. And if not, should I be providing him with training or providing her with training? And so on and so on. So these dashboards that you're seeing, they're all personalizable also. So that's one of the very nice features of Dynamics 365. It's easy to customize, it's easy to make it your own, and make sure that your solution is tailored to the way that you work and the way that you want your people to work. So let's go back to our friend Eric, but now let's see him as an account. Oh, I guess I'm getting told that we have 3 questions. So before we go and see our information that we have around Eric, let's go with the questions and I'll answer them. So give me a sec. Sorry, I was a bit off. So we do have questions that we want to ask you before I go on. So let me ask you those questions and we'll wait for your answer. So as any one of you, you currently have a CRM solution? Going to give you a minute to answer. All right. So not many of you currently own a CRM solution. So this is nice. And let me ask you another question. Are you planning to implement a CRM solution in the near future? Wow, all of you. That's great. Right. And last question before I go on. Would you like to book a call with a CRM consultant? Would you like someone to either call you or you yourself call us? All right. So thank you. Right. We have all the information that we need. So let's go right ahead. Let me just remove this. It's funny, I can't remove them. So give me a quick second. All right, so you see all my active contacts here and you see what I've been doing with them. So the good thing is every interaction that I have with Eric shows up on his timeline. And what this does, and what's the great thing about this, is that I keep learning on about my customers with each interaction that I do with them. So if, for example, let's say I'm the one that's working with Eric, and then I'm going on vacation. So for 2 weeks I'm not available, and someone else wants to contact Eric because we have an opportunity that's closing soon. So what that does is basically once you log in within Eric's account, you figure out all the interactions that have been done and where he's exactly at. So from there, what you see is how you're going to approach Eric and move that opportunity along, which is great. That's the basis of a CRM. You know, you need to know your customers. Customers have a tendency to leave nowadays and go to a competitor for reasons that they would not have done in the past. So it's easier now to move from one company to another in pretty much all verticals out there. So the more you know about your customers, the more that you keep them close, which is basically the reason why you want to have your CRM, and a powerful CRM that tracks all interaction. So let me just show you some other nice features. You saw the dashboards. Basically, these dashboards, out of the box, you get 3 of those. It's possible for you to build your own dashboard. So let's say you want to follow along with a specific information that you don't find within these dashboard. It's easy to just open them up and switch these tiles around and remove some of them and bring up some other data that you might find more interesting. Okay, and afterwards, let's go down and see an account, for example. Let's open up an account because I haven't created one for Eric. Let's go and see this account. You see, in this account, we have a bit more interaction that have been going on. We have the contacts that are identified. So within a company, you might have more people that you're working with than only one. So you can have all of these contacts over here. You have the annual revenue that you can see here, number of employees, all the information that you've gathered over time. There's also company profiles, so you can fill those up. So within what industry are they working, their SIC code, marketing, what has been done with them, contact preference. So all of these over time get built up, and then you have more and more data around these customers that lets you make better decisions. Let's go down and see, for example, cases. This is one other thing that I want to show you because this is pretty powerful. Let's say a customer calls in and has a bit of problems with something that you sold or a service that you provided. Not long ago, when you wanted to follow up on these cases, you needed to have separately a customer service application. What Microsoft did is they provided light case management right within Dynamics 365 for Sales Pro. What this does is you do have to deal with customers not always totally satisfied. This happens even though you might be doing your best day in and day out. So what happens when a customer calls in, if you don't have a full-blown customer service division? Well, you can start tracking right within your CRM what has happened. So basically they call in, you fill out what they're talking about. So what's the problem that they're facing? What's the description of the problem? Do they have applicable SLAs? So do you need to work with it to fix their problem or get back to them within a certain time frame? And all of these interaction will show up within the timeline. And what's really great is that all of this is viewable by any salesperson. So when you're calling someone, it's always good to know if they had a problem with recently, and even better to know if you fixed it and they're happy about the way that you fixed it. You can piggyback off of that and call them and say, oh, by the way, I see that you called us about your printer, for example, that wasn't working, and we see that we got it fixed to your taste and you were happy with it. So anything else that I could do around that problem, or are you superbly happy with our customer service? And then from there, you can start building on another opportunity or something else. So it's always good to have a 360-degree view of each of your customers to know exactly what's going on. And you're not calling them very happy and hyper and trying to sell them something when they're having trouble with one of your products and they're not really happy at that point in time. That would be, I would say, pretty much inappropriate for you to reach out and try to sell them something at that point. So once the case is resolved, well, you basically resolve your case, and that's it. It all gets tracked within the system. You know about it, but it gets removed from the day-to-day information that you see. I could go on and on and on and on. There's a lot of stuff within this CRM. You can have your product list where every single one of your product is listed, and you can create families and bundles. So for example, you can sell Office 365 and always sell solution, let's say Dynamics 365, for example. And you can create all of your bundles. You can create upsells, and you can create cross sells opportunities right within that customer catalog. You have your price lists that are here. So basically, every single product or service that you sell is all listed within your software. So when you create a quote, this is where you come in. So let's say you are working on an opportunity right here. and you move it along. You remember that progress line that we had at the top? It's coming up. Give it a second. Let's go with Eric again. So you see,
Okay.
the other one was closed. That's why. So we qualified him. Then we are moving him to the develop stage, where we find out his customer needs, propose solution, the stakeholders, competitors. Then we move him to the next stage. This is where we propose. So this is where we can create our quote. So from there, you curate your quote, you send that quote, and it all gets tracked, because every email that you send, you know exactly what happened. So you know if they opened it, if they clicked on the quote. So all of this data gets fed back within your CRM. And for example, you send out a quote, nobody opens it. You send it to person within a company. After 3 days, you find out nobody opened it. Well, there might be a competitor that has sent them a quote, and they started to work with someone else. And maybe you're going to lose that sale. So it's probably time to pick up the phone and call them. I guess this is pretty much the gist of what a CRM is. I could go on and on and on, as I said earlier, but what I want you to take away from this presentation is that your CRM solution is a gold mine. It's where you put all the data uh, that resides around your customer. And this is where you make decisions. And these decisions are based off our data. This is how a customer that's sitting in his office, that's how you're going to keep him within your company. That's how you're going to be providing him with better service than anyone else, because you're going to know him, because you're going to take the time to ask questions and aggregate all that data within your CRM. And each time you interact with them, that interaction makes sense to them. You're talking to them about their kids, about their favorite sport. You're talking to them about stuff that has a lot of importance for them. So I guess that's pretty much what I wanted to show you today. We're going to open it up to questions. So if you have questions, this is the time to ask them. So let's just look and see what type of questions that we're getting. Give me a second.
Great demo, by the way, Joel. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Eric. There's so much stuff. It's hard to
Yeah,
show everything.
keep it within the boundaries of not having to do a 6-hour webinar. I understand.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And I kind of wanted it to be a teaser. One thing that I didn't show was, but Eric told you about, is the ability to use this on your phone. So basically everything that you see on the screen adapts to a phone or a tablet. So you can use that CRM anywhere that you would like. So one of the questions that we had is, can we mark contacts as a center of influence? Um, in example, people who refer but not a customer. Yes, so within the stakeholders, you can do that. So each time that you're working within the stakeholder section, let's go back to an account, for example, and open up this account. So you have the stakeholders. Um, for some reason, sorry, give me a sec. Let's go back to the opportunity. It's going to be easier that way. All right, so you're going to see these stakeholders, but you can identify these stakeholders and define them as, oh, sorry, went a bit too fast. I'm just going to show that again. So, for some reason, am I having trouble with this? Okay, so you can see they're an influencer, a technical buyer, a champion, decision maker. So you know who they are and what's their what's their influence on the overall sales. Does that answer your question? Yep, seems like it. So do we have any other questions? Pricing. Yes, so pricing on the product, I guess the easiest way for you to find out the pricing, depending on where you are, United States or Canada. So basically, you can go and see dynamics.com or dynamics.com, and you say that you're in Canada. There you're going to see the pricing, and so basically, if I remember correctly, Dynamics for Sales Pro in Canada is around $85 per user. And it's the same thing. In the US, it's around $70 per user. But you can reach out to us and our sales team, and they're going to provide you with the exact pricing. Also, keep in mind right now, there are some ways of bundling this solution with Office 365, and there are different promotion going on that we can look at and see if your business meets the criteria for these promotions. Another question that just came in: can you create a group of contacts and then send them marketing material in that particular group? Yes, so there's a way to do that. You have your marketing lists and quick campaigns here, so you can take one each account and maybe define them per region, define them per well, whatever is important to you for that marketing list, and create multiple marketing lists. And then you can create a quick campaign and send them materials based off your criterias within that marketing list. And I guess that's pretty much it. So we went through all that we wanted to show. If you have more questions, or if you would like more of an in-depth demo, then don't hesitate. Reach out to us. We're available. We can set up a demo based off what you're doing within your business, and that will be more tailored to your day-to-day needs. Right. So thanks, Eric. Thank you for taking the time to be with us today. Thanks, everybody that jumped on the webinar, and I hope each and every one of you has a great day.
Great. Thank you very much, Joel. I appreciate the demo. It was very valuable.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, folks.